Hello, everybody. This is JD again. Noticing I'm not putting too many new videos. I went back and I was reviewing some of my videos of 2008, June, July era. I wish you guys would go listen to those. They pretty well cover everything. Nothing really has changed, except the names. I mean, I talked about Obama, McCain, and Bush. But actually, everything else, kind of made some interesting predictions. And every one of them came true. But now, today I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what is important to me if I become president. The most important thing. The thing that will be more important than anything else. Above all else. Above people throughout the world. Above international unrest. Above the other nations. Who's our ally, who's not our ally. Something that's more important than anything else. It will matter to me more than anything else. It will always come first. And that's you. Each and every one of you. I mean, I'm thinking about some things I went through, and I was listening to some videos, and Obama pledging billions of dollars for this, billions of dollars for that. Natural catastrophes somewhere else. Hurricane hits somewhere. Tidal wave hits somewhere. He pledges billions of dollars in aid to these countries. And then I'm looking at the news, and I see tornadoes going through, tear down towns, tear down houses. I don't hear the federal government pledging money to you people. The money that they collect from you, they're not pledging a cent to you. They say you could get low federal loans and some grants. That money that they pledge to these other countries throughout the world, well, that loans? No. Scot free. Here's a couple billion. But you, the American people, you got to pay it back. Well, we're going to give you a low interest rate. Something's wrong there, people. I watched a thing about the homeless. A woman working her job, staying in a shelter because she can't afford to get a home. She lost her home. What happened is the company she had cut back. She lost her job. Now she's getting a minimum wage job. She can't afford it. But yet, we're building homes for people who are in countries that are warring against themselves. I don't understand it. Why is she without a home, but yet we can build a home for someone around the world? I don't understand that. I'm looking at education and how everyone's trying to cut money out of education, yet the federal government is building schools in other countries. Using billions of dollars to build schools in other countries, buy them books, buy them stuff, but cutting back on education to the kids in this country. How can you explain that? I can't. I don't even understand it. Taking your money, which is the taxes, building schools, buying books for other nations, while taking away the money from education in this country for building schools and buying books. Do you understand that? I don't believe in isolation. I don't believe at all in isolation. We are a member of the world. And I do believe in helping other nations who wish to help themselves. Notice I said wish to help themselves. I don't believe in placing them before you, the people. I don't. I don't even believe in placing myself before you, the people. Because my job is to serve you, the people, not a country on the other side of the globe. My job is to see to it that you, the people, have the opportunity and the ability to, according to the Declaration of Independence, pursuit of one's own happiness. It's worded different, but basically, right, life, liberty, and happiness. That's first and foremost to me. Now understand, we will always have people living in the street because some wish to live in the street. I mean, before it became an epidemic, there was what we called quote unquote hobos, people who traveled from train to train. When I was younger, I met a guy who was quote unquote a hobo. And I asked him, why don't you get a job and get a house? And he says, I don't want that. I don't want that responsibility. I want to be able to go where I want to go, stay as long as I want, and then move on. He says, there's plenty to eat in this country for me, but this is where I live. This is how I enjoy my life. And that's what he wants. Well, I believe he has that right. But that's for the one who wants it. But what about the millions who don't? What about them? In New York City, I met one guy once. And I asked him, I said, okay, during the summertime you're here, you go to the park with the pools, and you wade through the pools, you get yourself clean, you go to the public restrooms, you get your showers, you do all that, that's fine, but what do you do in the wintertime? He says, well, in the wintertime I don't like to be out in the cold, and I don't want to go to Florida, so I throw a brick through a window of one of the stores. I said, what? He says, yeah, I throw a brick through the window, I wait for the cops to come, they arrest me, I usually do this in October, I go to jail, they put me 6 months in jail, I go to jail for 6 months, I'm in a warm building, I get fed for 6 months, and I get some TV to watch, I even get books to read, I get everything I could possibly want. And then come spring, they let me loose, and I live my life the way I like it. There are people like that. I'm not out to change them. They have that right. To them, that is life, liberty, and happiness. But what about the father and mother who's working as hard as they can? For some reason, they lose their house because they both lost their job to downsizing, and now they got jobs that pay 1/3 what they did. They shouldn't lose their house. The government should be there behind them to support them. What am I suggesting? Because people will stop making payments on no. What I am suggesting is that if a person is in foreclosure due to some type of catastrophic event. And at the time when they got their loan for their house, fully qualified for that loan, then the government should be there to help. We shouldn't have foreclosures in this nation for people who are working hard. You notice what I said? Fully qualified for the loan at the time of the loan, and since then something catastrophic happened in their lifestyle. Losing their jobs, being injured, mental, no, because mental will have existed prior to also. Sorry. I mean, I know people who claim dyslexia is a mental illness. And if someone wants to argue that with me, after I get elected president, I'll be glad to argue it with them. But when I tell them something, they're going to probably back down real fast. Bottom line, people, is you, the American people, have to come first. Our federal government has to see to it that you matter above all else. Our federal government should be there immediately when there is a catastrophe, natural catastrophe, anywhere. Meet with the mayor, meet with the police, doesn't matter, to see how we can help to put the people's lives back together. For they have to come first above all else. For they are this country, not Congress, not the House, not the Senate, not me when I become president. You, the people. I guess that's going to be my second promise. First promise is I'm going to bring your voice to Washington, D.C. Second promise is that you, each and every one of you, will be more important to this government than anything else. You will matter first, even before me. You'll be above the president, because that's where you belong. Telling you, you're going to find a different type of leader. You're going to find a true leader out of me. Within me is a leader that hasn't been in government in a long time. And stubborn as they come. Believe me, I'm stubborn. You don't want to butt heads with me. I don't play games, and I mean what I say. These are things people will tell you about me. Sometimes I say I'm too blunt, too direct, too truthful, too honest. I say things as I see it. Sometimes some of my friends get mad at me. But usually we discuss it, and it's done and over with. But this video is about one thing and one thing alone. You, the people. You have to understand, with me, you will always come first before any nation throughout the world, before any catastrophe throughout the world. You will matter above all else. And anyone who thinks the American people have it easy are fools. And that could be our problem with Congress. They have it easy in their life. They don't know what it's like to not know where your next meal's coming from. To not know where you're going to be sleeping that night. They have no idea what that's like. They have no idea to know what it's like to sneak out of where you're staying, to go to another place because your father and mother can't afford to pay the back rent. Hmm. These are things I've gone through. I've gone through garbage cans looking for food. What is it like to find a garbage can full of food? That is neat when you're hungry. That's really wonderful. And when I was a kid, food they threw away was a lot more garbage than they throw away today. They waste more food today than you can imagine. Now, I've done all kinds of videos, everything from cleaning the environment to climate change, that global warming is part of normal climate change. And beware of global cooling, not global warming. I've done things about taxes, how I feel the income tax is not right. We should be taxed on our ability to spend, not our ability to work. I've done everything on it. Problems with immigration. We don't need new laws, and we don't need to build the walls that fence us in. We need to go after the real problem and eliminate the problems. It's not the people coming across the border that's the problem. It's something else that's causing them to come across the border. That is the problem. And it's inside this country. It's not outside. They say, well, there's no jobs outside, so that's why they come in this country. That's not the problem. The problem is, how are they getting these jobs in this country when it's illegal to hire illegal aliens? Why isn't something being done? We have the laws to fix the problem. We don't need new laws. And we don't need to throw millions of illegal aliens in jail. But there is a way to fix the problem. We don't need to throw people in jail for minor little things and let the real criminals run loose. And don't talk to me about capital punishment. I'll tell you the way I feel. Any man that rapes a child for any reason whatsoever, I personally feel he cut his dick off. That's not inhumane. What's inhumane is what he did to that child. Okay? And when it comes to some of these murder cases, it's not inhumane to hang someone. Because they're not human, they're a monster. And don't tell me they're insane, because to kill a person, you have to literally become insane. Why do you think our military needs so much training? So that when it comes to the point for them to kill that first person, it is extremely hard for a human to kill another person, unless they are insane. That's why I say war is hell. And in peacetime, it's murder. Other countries, to kill a person is no big deal. In our country, it is. It is a traumatic experience. You don't have to ask me. We got plenty of veterans that come back. Ask them what it was like to kill that first person. It's not all that easy. Veterans shouldn't be waiting to be treated in this country. They should be coming first, like you. You're in a home that's destroyed by severe weather. We should be there long before we go to any foreign country to fix their homes. A veteran hospital tells me they have to wait 3, 4 months to get a veteran in, isn't in trouble. Because we will look and see how to fix the problem. A veteran hospital that says they do everyone in 2 weeks, but actually you're waiting 3, 4 months, that hospital is in deep trouble. Because they're hiding a problem and now we can't fix it. Because you, the people, have to come first. I don't care if a hospital is honest and says it takes 3 to 4 months. Actually, for my hearing aids through the VA, because I lost my hearing. Actually, I got my hearing at the same level it was when I got out of the Navy. Bad. The VA, it took 2 years for me to get hearing aid. It took almost a year for me to get an appointment. I wasn't upset about it because I knew there was a lot of veterans come back with a lot more serious problems. And I wanted them to be treated first because they mattered more than me. And that's the way I'm going to treat you, the American people. You are the ones that matter above all else. You must come first. Each and every one of you. So if you want a president who's not a politician and feels that you are above all else in this country, then you might seriously want to start considering JD. Because I'm watching these things about homeless people, people whose houses are being destroyed, and saying, why? Why are these people on the street homeless if they don't want to be? Why are children going hungry? Why are kids in schools that don't have books? Those questions should not have to be asked. Because you, the American people, each and every one of you, should matter above all else to every single congressman and senator. And especially to the president. But that's the way I am. I'm here to serve you, the people, not the rest of the world. I'm here to lead the country for the rest of the world. And that is what I feel a great leader, the president, should be. A servant of the people, a leader of a nation. Great leaders know how to serve. You have a nice day. This is JD, running for president in 2016. Now, in 2008, you'll find several videos of me telling you not to send any money. I don't want you to send any money in 2008. Well, they've changed the rules a little bit, or I just didn't catch it. To be a viable candidate, the first thing I have to do is raise $5,000. Once I raise $5,000, then I can register again for 2016. I need your help there. You go to my videos, they got some of them got my address. You go to Constitutionalist Party, my address is there. In case you don't know it, it's 1546 Norcova Avenue, Norcova Avenue, Norfolk, Virginia. Right on the check, JD's Political Campaign 2016. All I can do is promise you that's where it's going to go. Dietra is actually the treasurer. I'll have to send it to Dietra. Put on it, I guess, I don't know what to put A to. If you go to Facebook, find Dietra, my vice president, and she'll tell you what to put on it. Don't leave it blank. Don't put cash, because then anybody can take it. I see if I can get her to set up a political thing for setting up, but they take money out. They always take a certain percentage. They don't do it for nothing. But bottom line is, we got to raise $5,000 to make everything legal, I guess. Maybe that's the reason why my 8,700,000 votes disappeared in 2008, because I didn't raise nothing. Actually, me and the Federal Election Commission had a hard time because somebody gave me $50, my neighbor, and I was trying to doggone declare it. They wouldn't let me declare it. So, people, I got to raise 5,000, but that's not important. What is important right now is you. You have to decide what kind of president you want. And I told you, to me, I got now 2 promises. 1, bring your voice to Washington, D.C. 2, to ensure to the federal government that you are the most important person in the world, above all else. Thank you for your time. This is JD. Remember, I am a presidential candidate for 2016, but only if you, the people, want it. And if you wanted the chances I have of winning, it is almost astronomical if I get on the ballot. That is the chances we have of getting our government back. Us together can do the job, believe it or not. Thank you for your time.